Okay, so this is video number 3 in this short series. Say that again. This is video number 3 in the short series of 3 videos that I'm doing this morning. And this one is called the butterfly. I wasn't calling it the butterfly and the slug, but I've decided to call it the butterfly. We all know butterflies. We all see those beautiful things flitting around for a day in the warm summer balmy days when there's no wind and no breeze, and they're fluttering around looking absolutely magnificent. And you know that before that butterfly became a butterfly, it was a caterpillar, crawling around on a bush or a tree or in the grass, munching its way to ginormousness obviously in the grand scheme of things. Because it knows that at some stage in the very near future it's going to build itself a cocoon, and it is going to wrap itself in this cocoon and a transformation occurs. Now, unbelievably, science still doesn't know what happens inside that cocoon, or why it happens, or how it happens, because there's a phase when the caterpillar has wrapped itself in the cocoon and is transforming itself into a butterfly, where the entire contents of this cocoon is essentially a tube full of goo. I'll say that again. There's a stage when the caterpillar is transforming itself into a butterfly where the contents of that cocoon is just a tube of goo, a tube of liquid. And from that tube of liquid, a transformation, an incredible transformation begins, because it starts to build form and build shape and build those beautiful wings and the tiny brain and the antenna and all that kind of stuff, And then after a certain period of time, a butterfly fights its way out of that cocoon and emerges into the daylight. Now, did you know that if you saw a cocoon on a tree and you could see the butterfly wriggling out, you thought to yourself, I'll help that butterfly. So you got your pen knife and very, very gently cut a hole to allow that butterfly out. Guess what? The butterfly would probably die, because part of the strategy of survival for the butterfly is it has to fight its own way out of that cocoon. It's part of the process. It has to strengthen itself and prove that it has the right to fly around with all this beauty by fighting its way out of that cocoon. And so if you're trying to help it out, you're actually killing the butterfly. So why am I talking about butterflies? Well, because I talked about the storm that's coming, and I talked about business shutting down and people out of work. But there is something else happening that you don't know about, that you're not seeing, and the newspapers and the TV and the media in general don't talk about it. There are people with money right now, and they are looking around at what's going on, and they are looking to invest that money. I'm talking about people with big pension pots, entrepreneurs, millionaires, multimillionaires, and they are looking not to take advantage, not to stamp on people, but they are looking to buy companies that are going to be struggling in specific niches. Try saying that really quickly. Specific niches that they know that their businesses can absorb and turn around and make profitable. And what does that mean to you and me? Well, it means that they take on a struggling business. Instead of all the members of that company, that business being sacked, they are now going to be given a new lease of life. They are now going to be given the opportunity to grow this business as the new owner wants it to grow. They're going to be able to develop this business. There are people right now that are buying properties. I mean, the high street is dying. I hate to say it, but you and me spend our money differently right now. We spend our money in different ways. We spend our money online, and we very rarely going to spend money in town. Let's go to a coffee shop, buy a book, and even then, who buys books anymore unless they're second-hand books? But the retail face is dying. But guess what? There are investors out there that are looking at the high street and saying, wow, I wonder, this shop that is closing down would I be able to buy it? Would I be able to convert it into housing? Because despite what is going on, there is still a humongous housing shortage in this country. I'm talking about private housing and housing for people that need assistance to somewhere to live. There's a massive shortage, a mega shortage. So these investors are looking at existing properties that are now defunct because the shop has been shut for 6 months, and investigating whether or not they can get permission to turn that into a block of flats or a house or sheltered accommodation or whatever. Yeah, it's happening right now, you just don't see it. That means that when they buy that property, yeah, guess what? They're going to need labourers, they're going to need plumbers, they're going to need electricians, they're going to need builders, they're going to need furniture, they're going to need all kinds of things, okay? Because that means that to turn that investment into something that's going to make them money, they've got to make it livable, they've got to make it habitable, so they need the specialist skills of tradesmen and tradespeople to do that. And what does that mean? It means that these tradesmen can feed their kids. It means that these tradesmen can go down the pub, assuming that they're open, and spend money, put that money back into circulation. It means that those tradesmen and the investors will pay tax, which will help the government and help you and me, because the government needs money coming in to pay people unemployment benefit and the NHS and all that kind of good stuff, yeah? So this is happening right now. There are investors, there are very, very successful entrepreneurs that are looking at this current situation and thinking about how can I make this work for me. And it's not the first time. Back in 2008 when there was a massive recession and there were loads and loads of redundancies and loads of businesses closed their doors, there were some big name companies that started in that recession. And I guarantee you right now that through this recession that's happening and is about to get mega worse, yeah, there are going to be companies that in 10 years from now will be mega huge. They'll be incredibly huge. And they will have started during 2020, 2021, okay? Because people see that when things are difficult, there are opportunities. So what does that mean to you and me? That means that your business could be an opportunity to grow, could have an opportunity to grow, to develop, to flourish. It could mean that your business model might not work in this coming storm. It might mean, I'm not going to use the word pivot, it's the wrong word, but it could mean that you need to think about adapting. Maybe taking on a sideline, maybe changing the way your business operates. Rather than being face to face, you've got to go online, or online you've got to do something else. I don't know your business, but what I'm saying is it's time to adapt. It's time to think about how you can thrive. Are you going to be a butterfly? Are you going to be a butterfly that emerges, beautiful with the patterns and the antenna and flutter around making people feel happy? Or are you going to be a slug? What? I have yet to figure out the existence of slugs. Why do slugs exist? They're slimy, they're horrible, there's no benefit apart from, okay, birds eat them, but they eat plants, they eat anything that's green, they're a gardener's nightmare, and they don't do anything. So, there are going to be people out there that are going to become slugs, and they're just going to crawl along the ground, and whatever little morsel is thrown their way, they're going to gobble it up and gobble it up and gobble it up. There are also going to be what people will call sharks, but I'm not going to use the word shark because sharks are bred to do one thing. That is, they clear the ocean of the dead and the dying and the detritus. Shark attacks happen because human beings go into their territory and we make sounds like dead and dying sea creatures. Okay, so I don't want to use the analogy of sharks, but there are some nasty, nasty, evil, horrible, shitty people, yeah, that are going to take your money. I know this. I told somebody yesterday about this. There are going to be people out there that say, look, give me 750 quid and I will turn your LinkedIn profile into something that is irresistible and I guarantee that you'll get your job. Who the fuck can guarantee anyone is going to get a job simply because they've got the most amazing LinkedIn profile. There are people that are going to say, send me your CV and I will jizz it up for you and I will make it the most amazing CV that anyone has ever seen, and you can send that to one company and I guarantee you they'll be biting your hand off and offering you triple the salary. Sit on your hands. If you are in the situation where you're going to become unemployed or there's a risk of unemployment, do not do this. Do not spend your money on snake oil. Do not spend your money on a salesperson that goes, hey, I can guarantee you a super job. Just give me £1,000, just give me £2,000, just give me £500, just give me £150, and I will do my magic on your CV, on your profile, and you will become irresistible to employers. Sorry, no. It doesn't work like that. Keep your money, okay? Stay away from these nasty, evil bits of work. They're like the scammers that will ring you and pretend they're from your bank. Your bank has already told you that they will not ask for your password. They will not ask for details that would give you access to your account. Banks don't do that. So if somebody rings you up and they're very convincing and they say, oh, blah, 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 we've seen there's some unbeknown behavior on your account. We need to have your bank details so we can sort it out. Don't do it. Even today, even yesterday, I read a post about somebody who'd had their bank account cleaned out. Yeah, 3 accounts cleaned out because she'd had a phone call from her bank, although she sought with the bank. She didn't do her due diligence. Now, don't blame her because these scammers are really good at what they do, but some basic due diligence didn't happen and she lost everything. Okay, I think the bank is trying to help her get her money back, but you know, there's going to be a lot more of this because unfortunately, it's a sad fact that when situations economically, there's a downturn downwards, turn bad, some people will turn to crime. And cybercrime, I think, is going to go through the roof. So protect yourself. Do not give your money out to people that promise you the moon. Because, you know, the moon isn't made of cheese and it's way, way, way up there somewhere, yeah? And you ain't going to get there unless you work for NASA. And even then, you've got to be the best of the best. You see what I'm saying? Do not fall for somebody's shim-shammy, snake oil selling scam. There's going to be a lot of them coming. There's going to be a ton of them coming. And there's some out now. I mean, I've had calls from HMRC. I've had calls from my bank. I've had calls from 2 or 3 other things. And I know that they're scams because when you look at the website link, it's not, you know, it's not like scandiabank.com. It's like 1234H-5678 scandiabank.com. That is not a bank's website address, okay? It's not. So spend a minute doing your due diligence before you dish out your money, before you give out personal information, because there's going to be a lot of it. There's a lot of people out there that are going to want to take your money because that's how they make their money. Okay, so listen, I hope you've liked this mini series of 3 videos. I hope you found them useful. If you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, if you want to have a chat about stuff with me, you know, just drop me a DM or drop me a line in the comments below. Yeah, thanks for watching. And to my friend who I talked about in video 1, I'm sending you lots of love and healing and thoughts and prayers. And I hope everything goes really, really well for you. And speak to you very soon. Bye now.